What is up, everybody? My name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie, and this here is Aiden, and this is where he's residing for the moment. Thank you for joining me here once again on the live stream. This is episode number 53 of consecutive weekly live streams, and thank you for spending your time here with me. If it is your first time, my name is Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie, and make sure to say hello and introduce yourself in the comments so that the rest of the crew can give you the Camera Junkie welcome. So, with that being said, let's get started. First things first, right off the bat, yesterday was Aiden's birthday. He officially turned 6 years old. He's getting bigger and bigger, and as you can see, he's requiring more and more of me every day. Yesterday, he decided to use me as a sofa or a seat, and he had me sitting down while he sat on top of me and watched his favorite cartoons. And now, just to make sure that he's taken care of, he just wants to spend like some cuddly time with dad. This is where he wants to be, so we're just gonna roll with it. As you all might know, YouTube is one hell of a marathon, and today I've been running around like crazy. So if you do still see some sweat on my brow, hey, I've been running around even to like the last minute before the camera went on. Another thing was YouTube just switched a couple of things up on me. I usually start exactly at 11 with like a 5-minute countdown at 10:55, but they didn't give me that option. So instead of starting at 10:45 and having like 10 minutes of countdown, I just brought it up to 11. Let's see exactly what happens next week, because I don't know if that's something that they're changing completely, only giving like 15-minute increments, or if it's just because I was literally setting up the live stream within the hour, because I got here like past 10 o'clock. But as always, I will never miss one of these live streams. This is what I look forward to every weekend. Club Camera Junkie, for those of you who know. And yeah, now let's go check in with the chat before we get into conversation and say what's up to the crew. So right off the bat, we have Kevin saying hello. Angelique is in the house as well. How are you? She's got a question right off the bat. Says, Lewis, what do you do to get your mindset for a live stream? Do you have a routine? Okay, I kind of do, right? Today I wasn't able to implement it because of this guy. But when I usually have my setup time, probably like already within an hour before the live stream is when I start checking everything out. Hi. What's wrong, puppy? What's wrong? You want some extra daddy love. You okay? Say hi to everybody. He going bigger and bigger every day? My birthday boy? Come on. I don't know if he wants to go to sleep. Let me see. I'm gonna put him down. Let's see. We're just gonna play it by ear for now, because he looks like he's giving me that, like I'm tired face. So let's see if he actually falls asleep, because he didn't nap today. But I digress. What I usually do for my live streams to get started, on top of everything, right? Like within the hour that I'm like setting the cameras up and making sure, like you see this one, angle number 2, I didn't even turn on. So we'll get to that in a little bit, because I didn't even get to turn on that camera. But those are all the things that I do as far as my checklist goes. I have an iPad here for my sound effects. So that iPad being a touch screen panel right here, it basically lives here on my desk because of the live streaming. So I just make sure that it's plugged in and charged. And what I also do is that I make sure that the self-locking feature is turned off. So that's what I always go do as far as settings go. I make sure that it's set to never to lock, so that it stays on permanently, available for me to have my sound effects on the fly. for my live streams. Then, okay, he sounds better. He might be making some noise, but it looks like that's what he wanted. That's what I have there. Then, I go ahead, obviously, and I check the cameras. I use Ecamm as my camera or my system to run all of my live streams and also record my content creation. So the same way that you see the setup here, I have the ability to record all of my pre-recorded videos the same way. Usually what I do, because I'm editing those videos, I'll hit this angle here, which is kind of clean, and I'll just clean up the entire image so that I have it. But one of the advantages is that I don't have to be worrying about memory cards, because the files that I record go directly into the computer and then right into Final Cut so that I can edit. But with the Ecamm is what I turn on, and I make sure that my cameras are set, that everything looks correctly. I've mentioned it before, all of my lights are Wi-Fi controlled. I use this application here. It's called like Smart Home or something, because these are like Amazon Wi-Fi bulbs. The links are in the description, and I have quite a few presets there. See if you can see. One of them being like all on, that will just turn on all my lights and change it off just like that. Then I can go to what I call full power, which is all the lights that I have full blast. As you can see, it totally blows out everything in the background. Yeah, I got that light on. Then I have a variety of different, because I also do phone repairs, which is part of the topic that we're going to get into here. Whenever I try to do a recording for Mr. Fix-It, blue is my primary color for that, so I just have it all knocked down to blue, and then I'll record like that. And I have a variety of different ones, like Christmas colors. This one I call Sleepy Aiden, because if Aiden's asleep and I need to still get some work done, this is the minimal light setup that I have. Just one light, usually that one in the back over here is off, and then every other light here is off, and I'm sitting here editing with my wireless headphones so that I do not disturb him, and he can have his Prince sleep, his Aiden sleep. So I have quite a variety, different ones. Also, I have one that just shuts everything off, and then the one that I have here that's called live stream, which gives me my primary colors for the live stream there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Once I finish my physical checklist, right, of everything here, it usually doesn't take that long, right? But I said that I start an hour early. The reason why I said that is because about after 15 minutes of checking all of the hardware and all of the little knickknacks and make sure that my music and everything is going correctly, I then play 24-hour comedy station on iHeartRadio. It's just a station that I've been listening to for so long. I'm big fan of comedy, stand-up comedy, and comedy in every way, shape, or form. But it's something that allows me to get in a good, jovial mood, right? After you heard a couple of good jokes, there's no way that you cannot be smiling and just enjoying your day and having a good time. So I always try to make the most out of my day. And if I give anyone a little bit of advice, I would say that would be my key, because listening to just a set of good jokes, and when it's the iHeartRadio, it's not something that you need to physically see. Because when it comes to stand-up comedy, it is the theater of the mind, right? You're laying out a scenario, you're telling somebody a story, and the joke's in there, but it's all being played out in the mind. So it really converts well to audio, being that usually you're just seeing somebody kind of what I'm doing right now, like a talking head. And with that being said, that's why it transitions well for that format. I can continue to make my coffee and get all the little knickknacks done, pay attention to Aiden and make sure that he's 100% catered to before I go live. And that's where I spent the majority of my time. I would say at least the last half an hour always doing that, to get myself in a really good, a really good mood. There's no way that this smile won't be genuine if you don't have that feeling. And that's what I love about comedy as well. It's something that you could always take away, because sometimes one of the most famous comedians, He basically has the #1 performing show HBO comedy special. His name is Stephen Wright. The thing is, it's all one-liners, right? So it's an entire hour of one-liners, and that's why it's the best performing special ever, because you can watch it like again right after you just finished watching it, and you'll laugh at the same exact jokes because there's so many, and there's no storyline that will actually have you remember the jokes, that it's just like one-liner after one-liner. So the structure is about like just like no fat, just jokes, and that's why it kind of leaves you hollow, right? You can there's no story behind it in that sense. But what I was trying to say was that no matter what, you really, when it comes to meeting people or comedians, right, you don't remember so much what they say, you always remember how they made you feel. And that's Maya Angelou. So quoting Maya Angelou saying that that's where the power lies. So when you do that, or I guess, even this, the Camera Junkie live stream, it's something that I enjoy so much that it just translates through the screen. Wow, that was like 15 minutes on the first question. Let's go. I'm already halfway to Miss D. Okay, so Kevin is saying, how long have you been doing YouTube? He's asking Angelique. Gil's in the house saying he's so excited for me, bro. I'm going to be working things out, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. Jim is in the house saying hello to Mr. Camera Junkie crew and happy birthday to Aiden. Yes. Well, we all saw that, and he's over here in a much happier place than he was whining before the live stream. Okay, Scott. What's up, man? He's saying howdy to everyone. Skip, I was behind the channel for a couple of years and casually started my own in January. Stopped a handful of months and just kicked back into gear posting. Nice. Well, that's actually where I met Angelique, kind of when she was starting her YouTube channel back in the days of Clubhouse. It just goes way back, so it's super cool, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. What's up, Professor Nez? It's rare that I get this man on the live stream here, but I appreciate you spending the time. James Hicks is in the house. How you doing, bro? Says, what up, Camera Junkie crew? Oh, he's saying, oh, so this is around the time that Aiden hit the screen. So that's just me guessing. Okay, and Paul's saying hello to everyone. He's saying, very nice. Your thumbs look amazing, and we'll be checking out a few of your vids. Awesome. Sammy's here. How you doing, sir? Welcome, as always, Mr. Superstar. Professor Nez is saying happy birthday to Aiden. So is Sammy. And Kevin, yes, 6 years, saying thank you so much. No, my pleasure. Hopefully that was my stint on on the comedy and the breakdown of my run of show. She's also saying happy birthday to Aiden. Real Northwest Arkansas, sir, you were here last week, and I think that I slipped up and I forgot to ask you your name. So if you can share with us your name, I would love to know that so that I could address you instead of addressing your name. But a pleasure to have you here as well. Gretchen, she's got Gumby as her avatar. I love it because we got to be flexible. Gumby, damn it. For those of you, let me know if somebody knows where that's from, because when I saw this from you, Gretchen, that's exactly the image that I got. Like, and who are you, sir? I'm Gumby, damn it. Let me know if somebody knows who I'm quoting. Gil is saying happy birthday. Nano is in the house. What's up, Luis? He's saying hello, folks. Happy birthday to the prince. Saying happy birthday, Aiden. Thank you so much for the love, guys. He's adorable, Lewis. Thank you. I'm biased. I think he's the cutest kid in the world, but he's my kid, right? But he is my miracle man. And some of you who are here, part of the crew, have heard me say this before. But for those of you who are new, Aiden is my miracle man. That's what I call him. That's what he is. He was born 4 months premature at exactly 6 months, 24 weeks, and was given less than 25% chance of survival on day 1, and that was before any medical procedure, and that came in day 2. So imagine. It was a roller coaster, and you know, we can touch into that if it's necessary, but that is why he is so special to me, and the lessons that this child has taught me in his short 6 years is why I'm here on screen right now. He is the reason why I do what I do. So, and Paul moderating, saying your question should look like this, otherwise it's just a comment. And yes, if you do have a question, please put a Q colon in front of it. That way I'm able to search for it easier. And at, like, you know, at the end of the show, I always make sure that I go through all of the questions, that I don't miss any. He's saying thanks, Paul. John Van de Vroot. No, that Voort. Let me make sure I get that right. Saying hello, hello. Need a birthday candle effect for the monitor in the back. You see, that's what I'm telling you. I'm so off. I'm supposed to have a fireplace. That's the whole thing. You see it? Like, I totally don't even have that setup saved from last week with the fireplace. But you know what? This, you know, Angelique, you're going to get this right off the bat. I'm going to put that on right now. So let me show you what I do. Okay. This is also part of the behind the scenes. I have a second phone. So on my second phone, what I did was I downloaded, well, actually I recorded the screensaver from my Mac computer because I love it. And the particular one that I have, I had it set to the blue hue, which is part of my color scheme. So I would always set that up, and I would put that on the television screen in the background. What I'm doing now on my phone is I'm opening up YouTube, and I have a file that I had selected here of fireplace. Boom. Okay, so now I select this video file that is 8 hours of fireplace just running in the background in high definition 4K. So I select it, and now that's playing on my phone, as you can see, right? Boom. Now that that's playing there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Apple's AirPlay. And the funny thing is that I'm using all of this old school, like, tech, because none of this is like the latest stuff. So I believe the Apple TV that I'm using is an Apple TV Mark II. Right, the second generation. Is that how you say it? Okay, and now we have successful AirPlay to that. And let me go and turn on that TV. Hey, buddy. Oh yeah, you're gonna go to sleep in a second. Oh. Oh yes, this is all of the behind the scenes, because on top of that, right here I have a camera mount, which I have HDMI to record my camera. It wasn't over here, it was mounted over here, and because of it I'm totally disassembling everything. I had disconnected the HDMI cable that connects that TV to the Apple TV. So it's usually a little bit cleaner, but today is gonna be jank. Let's get it done. All right. Fireplace. All right. And now we have a fireplace. The other aspect to this was that we were going to add the ambiance to it. So let me change a couple of my lights. Oh, buddy, I'm going to come pick you up in a second. Give me 1 second. come on. So apparently he didn't want to go to sleep, but we will continue. Okay, now, come on, leave my earpiece alone. He didn't. All right, we're gonna go to my devices by themselves. So all 12 of my lights, I'm gonna go, and the light that I have behind the television, I call it the monster light. I'm gonna just turn that off. So now there's no blue back there, but I'm gonna take my main light here and I'm gonna change that to blue. Then, where's my little light? Here it is. I was talking about this. I recently purchased this mini focus RGB light. This little guy impressed me, and this is what really is the game changer. I'm gonna switch the feature, the mode, to fireplace. All right, so now we have a fireplace effect that's just at 10%. Okay, come on, let me put you down. And this fireplace effect, I'm gonna throw it behind the television to complete the ambiance. There we go. We just warmed things up. All right. And that is part of my run of show, so to speak. So we'll get back to it. All meanwhile, Aiden is running the show here. He's being the boss. He's like, yo, I want to get things done. He just... You want to be in my arms? This is my life with him. One of the things with Aiden is that he doesn't speak, so it's always a laundry list of guessing what could possibly be what is ailing him, what's bothering him, and I have to constantly be running like this guessing game and asking him, is this it? Or, you know, and usually these signs is like he's tired and he's fighting sleep. He doesn't want to go to sleep. He probably wants me to play with him and tickle him and stuff like that. I'm not going to say that T word again because, you know, he's very aware. And what it really is that he's just tired and he just doesn't want to go to sleep, especially at this time. So we'll go with that. Okay. Says, check out Mitch Hedberg. Oh, I absolutely love Mitch Hedberg. Such a tragic loss. Mitch, dude, is awesome. He's like, one of Mitch's famous jokes is like, you know, escalators can never break. They could only become stairs. So, you know, that's the type of one-liner comedy that Stephen Wright is also very famous for. So yeah, but definitely we could have huge conversations when it comes to comedy of why certain comedians are, you know, like funny at first and then not, and so many different things. Leave my earpiece alone, Papi. Papi. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to the right ear. 1 second. This is live. Come on. You're not giving me a chance here, buddy. Yeah, there we go. And we continue. All right. Mitch Hedberg one-liners were godly. Yeah, he's awesome. We're still saying hi to everyone. Oh, God, I'm so behind now. Aiden, I'm pulling a straight Diana Gladney in the chat here. Wow, that was an answer and a half, dude. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what that was referencing to. Papi, come on. Don't push away from me. You could fall. Okay. Raphael is in the house saying happy Saturday, MrCameraJunkie. Oh my God. This guy. Come on, Papi. It's okay. It's okay. Come on. You're tired? The struggle is real. This is great to see you, Jim. We're still all saying hi. I need to get past these. Everybody's just saying, Nez is in the house. Great to see you, Nano. Congrats on winning the camera. Yes. Aiden, this is my shoulder. I still need my shoulder, puppy. Okay. What are you doing? Come on. He goes, are you using it now? How do you like it? You're talking about the camera? So yes, I love it. Thank you so much. I love the comedy hour before you get started. It gets your energy right. Absolutely, right? Well, one of the things as well, and this is my life, right? This guy is my main priority. And I gotta get you right. So if not, you're gonna kill my shoulder. Okay. One of the life lessons that he's taught me and still teaches me every day is how to keep a level head. You know, one thing that I no longer have the ability to do is get angry, you know? And it's not like it's a bad thing, but it's no longer a luxury that I have to get frustrated and to be able to let out my frustrations verbally. It's not something that I could even do. He is highly, highly affected by my vibration. And if my vibration, my mood, my energy changes for whatever reason it could be, and it's always an outside source, and if that happens and I let it out, he will start crying as if every bad thought or everything was like intended for him. And because of it, because then it takes me so long to bring him back, you know, to such a happy mood after anything like that happens. It's one of those life lessons that I've learned that is like, I could be frustrated and like upset, and a bunch of different emotions could be running through my body, but I cannot let them control my body. You know, I cannot lose my breath. And that's, you know, like monk monastery type of mentality, which is you need to learn how to control your breath. Because if you control your breath, you can control your words, you can control your energy, you can control your mood. And if you're controlling your mood, like you see this, like he'll cover his ears. Oh, buddy, you're getting so heavy. Okay, come on. That is a strain on my shoulder. Oof. Anyways, but yeah, that he's very affected by my vibration. And like when I'm in the car and like it may seem simple, right? But you know, like especially in the car is where I find it hardest for me, because you know, I'm on the road a lot, and a lot of people do a lot of stupid things on the road, dangerous things on the road that get me upset. And when they do, and that frustration affects me because of the outside source, he could be in the back seat crying silently without saying nothing, and I can't tell you how much that breaks my heart. That it's like I will do everything in my power to not have him cry that way, because this guy, like, he doesn't even complain about anything. He really doesn't. And to have him just sit there pouting, like with a big bottom lip, like just exaggerated and tears coming down, is just the biggest heartbreak. That then I would have to pull over most times and just like get him by the hand, and it's like so much work to get him away from that. Like right now he is so tired, and he wants me to be his bed. Come on. Ugh. We're gonna try something here, because we're on the fly, right? We're gonna try something here. We're gonna try the dark mode, because I really think We're going to Sleepy Aiden. So we're going to keep it chill. Okay, so right now it's pretty much silent. Let me see if I bring a little bit of ambiance here. It's pretty much like dead silent here. I just turned off his cartoons and everything like that. It's hella dark. Let's see if I bring a little. Extra light here. And this is live. This is how you do it live. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little. Cut me off a little bit there. Okay, so we'll continue. Okay, so we're talking about the comedy hour. Let me put this down as well. Okay, so we got a name. It's Dale. Welcome to the Camera Junkie crew, Dale. We really do appreciate having you here. Saturday Night Live. You nailed it, bro. But now, do you know who the actor was? I bet you do, because if you got the broadcast, John, then I bet you know who said it. I love that. That always brings me to tears whenever I see it. Says yes, Nez, for my live stream and more. Awesome. Saying so happy for Nano. It was Eddie Murphy. Gumby cool. Oh, you got it, man. Yo, so many brownie points right there. Those are just great casts of Saturday Night Live. I was speaking to somebody about that as well. It could have been last week right here on the stream, but I really the most Saturday Night Live that I watched live was the Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, David Spade, Chris Farley, Chris Rock crew. Like, those were great years. Phil Hartman was still around at that time, RIP. So a lot of great sketches came out at that time. So okay, so Gretchen says, I follow 2 fluid artists who are doing a Miracle Life project to support fellow premature birth families. Check out. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Well, part of my situation is that I'm also solo. Situations happen and life throws you a lot of curveballs, but right now it's just me and Aiden against the world. So we're doing it. She's saying that's dope. That was something. I'm hoping that was the fireplace hack. Let's see. That was 11:27. Okay, so I'm not that far off in the comments. It says, always roasting for Diana. We get delayed in the chats. It's already a thing. And the funny thing is, I think I mentioned that once here, and then Doc Rock heard it. And then now Doc Rock says it like religiously, like, oh, I'm pulling a Diana in the chat. Love it. It's almost as if he can't get close enough to you. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, he's very, well, he's a daddy's boy. That's basically what it is. I've had to take on the role of father, mother, everything. He is special needs. He doesn't walk yet, and he doesn't talk. He is mobile. He moves around. He gets everything that he wants and stuff like that. He's just still working out, the extension and like weight bearing, mostly because through his story, he outgrew his size and his muscles created atrophy. So we're just building the muscles up from the ground up, since he was getting therapies of physical, occupational, and speech. So we still have hopes for, the walking and talking, and then we'll see where we go from there. But it's always a challenge, but also a blessing. So that's, like I said, my miracle man. Says all kids are actually like this. Special needs kids are actually superhuman. All his powers were turned on and he couldn't turn them off. And their superheroes have so much to teach us. I can't I can't agree with you more, Angelique, because this guy is affected, like I mentioned just a little bit before, by my vibrations, by certain frequencies. Like, let's say there's certain songs that I know that like affect him. They bother him as if they were like piercing, and he would cover his ears. So whenever I would hear this song, I would, skip it. There was a time where I had the audio so low where I couldn't hear it myself. So it was coming out of the speakers, but I couldn't physically hear it because of just the ambient noise. And I saw him do the same effect of like covering the ears, and I'm like, what could it possibly be? And then I saw that the ticker was playing, and I'm like, oh, and then I was like, oh, it is playing music. So then I turned it off, and as soon as I, turned it off, he was fine. So it's like years of that happening is how I know, how these things affect him. Nobody else has to tell me. He's shown me himself. So, hi Sly, welcome to the stream. Aw, thank you so much. Kevin saying hi to Sly. Saying thanks to Kevin. My son had 50 to 85 seizures a day from age 2.5 to 4. It was an insane period in our lives. Oh my God, I could just imagine, because I just speak a little bit of my roller coaster with Aiden, and that sounds like an insane period. My insane period, like of me was day 0 of like his birth, so to speak, to like a good year, actually like a good 6-7 months, when he was mostly in the neonatal intensive care unit and I was still running a business 10 hours a day. That was just, my schedule was but he was worth it. Says he couldn't walk or sit up by himself, so I wore him into in a carrier heavy, but it saves my arms and back. Okay, I might have to look into that, because my arms are jacked already. I have a pretty much jacked up knee too. Oh, you know what? I left it like this. Let me go back to my original screen, because I was talking there, and then boom, bring my coffee talk back on there. There we go. It says, Lewis, you're the master of improvisation. 53 weeks and still going strong. Hey, I'm having fun. I haven't even touched today's topic, which is so funny, but we're going to get to that now. When we're hungry or thirsty, we quickly run to get something to fix that feeling. For them, it's our energy. They get dehydrated. Your energy is magic that fuels him. Definitely. And I think that's why he also loves like the fun time that we have and tickling, because tickling is like straight energy transference. Like, I could be here working and he'll ask me to play and he'll distract me and he's successful at it, and then we're over here playing and I'm tickling him and he's all for it, and like 5-10 minutes of that I'm like drained, and he is just like a rocket. He is going everywhere off the walls, and I'm over here like basically taking a nap on the floor next to him just to make sure that he's good, but like literally like just zaps it. So that's funny. You know what? Now that I think about that, it's like sometimes I'm like, why am I so tired today? And he's full of energy. I'm like, good to know. Thank you so much. But you guys actually are. Like, every person that's ever shown up to any of my live streams is part of like this crew, of this family, and is part of the support system. The support system for me, for Aiden, for this endeavor, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. Because right now, currently, I do iPhone repairs, but I do see a lot of things coming in the future from the right to repair movements and what these companies are doing to actually prohibit us from doing repairs on our own devices, trying to put like a stranglehold on businesses, including the one that I do myself, to actually provide for ourselves, providing a service doing phone repairs, these expensive high-end devices. But how they want to continue to do that, I'm also understanding that, like, this is me foreseeing what's coming, that the road that has been paved in this business endeavor is not looking as fruitful as it did years ago. And with that being said, I also have to be smart and, provide for my main dude here, because he is my main priority. So with that is what's led me here, like I mentioned before, of being a content creator on the platform and actually reaching and having, like Professor Nez says, shout out to Professor Nez, having the audacity into believing in myself, right? And betting on myself. And I'm doing it almost not even for me, but for this guy, because he deserves it and so much more. So I'm working hard to provide the best life that I can possibly provide for him and leave everything catered for this individual, if the case were to be needed, that needs to happen, right? And I'm just trying to do what I know is necessary for my child. And with that has led me to this space, has led me to, pursuing my passion, pursuing my goals, and trying to stay in this creative space. One of the hardest things that I have at the moment is to actually stay in the flow of creation. So when I'm here, whether it's a live stream, whether it's editing a video, whether it's participating in a live stream, Professor Nez moderating, whenever I'm here in this creative space is like my joy, right? And if I can get fulfilled with this energy here, then it's only going to help to provide the energy that he needs there. So, like, the positive will feed the positive. And what I've established is, a video editing production company, which I'm going to be kicking off, officially in January of this year. So, right now we're putting in all the groundwork for that. I've already been working for months with Doc Rock to learn the ins and outs of this business endeavor that I'm going to be taking on. And with that being said, another part of it is like full-on content creation consultation, which is where the topic of today's conversation goes, which is one-on-one consultations for everything that's having to do with content creation on various platforms, because I'm well versed on a lot of different platforms. Like I mentioned before, meeting Angelique on Clubhouse when that was getting popped off. But even though I love Clubhouse, it was not my passion, it was not my main goal. So one of the things that I realized while I was spending the time over there was I could continue to spend time here and help other creators, or I can get to work on helping myself, which is what I did, and it wasn't taking away from anyone over there, because I missed a lot of the conversations that were had, but I could not be in two places at once. So while I was talking about creating content, I got a message. I'm getting something, right? Let me make sure here. Okay, I think we're okay. Fireplace is still going. Okay. Well, where was I? See, that's a bad distraction. I gotta make sure that these things are off so I do not get distracted. Well, I'll continue. One of the things was that I was establishing that I'm going to be doing the consultations and doing every aspect. I met Angelique on Clubhouse. That's what I was talking about. And that, I just needed to spend the time and dedicated taking my time and my efforts on the platform, even though much harder. YouTube is probably the hardest platform, but I'm also in love with the challenge, with the marathon, and it's exactly like this is my territory. As always, that's what keeps the smile on my face. So my goal is to always stay in the content creation space. And while I'm editing here and doing the things that I love, what's taking the hardest hit for my content creation journey in this aspect is my business, right? Whenever I get a phone call, like just that we've demonstrated where I almost lost my train of thought completely because I got a beep on my message. That's exactly what happens on my day-to-day. My phone just starts blowing up with just questions about iPhones and how much would it be for this and this, and I'm like getting prices and running my business as I always did, and then that just totally derails my content creation flow, my flow state. And when it comes to content creation, flow state is like so big, because I reference it to being like, being on a road trip and then stopping for a restroom break and being like, it's only going to be 5 minutes, and then it's actually an hour before you actually hit the road again. And that's where a lot of my time gets lost. So my main goal for this upcoming year was to actually establish my clientele base so that I can like transition and stop doing less of the phone repairs while I continue to gain more of the video editing and production side of it, more clients in that side. Well, another thing that is just starting right now is the one-on-one consultations, and has to do with the fact that not only am I a video editor and available, but that I'm also available for consultation, because it's almost like I'm well versed on all these platforms and I'm available to help. And one of the main things that would always take me away from the content creation space and being able to provide a service like this is the time that I was dedicating to my business. So it's a bit scary, but it's like I'm putting it out there that I am, working my way to being a full-time content creation, and that has to do with making the time for what you want. So right now, there has been a set cancellation when it comes to business, and now on top of it being a financial thing, it also has to do with a time thing, and the time is where I'm putting like my eggs in my basket, so to speak. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm making sure that I'm setting time aside to do this full time, and one of them is to monetize my consultation. So now, if anyone was ever interested in having a one-on-one hour conversation to go through their setup, basically like I went through mine, and going through the process and the steps of getting the mind right, all the aspects that it comes to doing this and doing this successfully on this platform, I'm available for consultation. And not only would that help said individual who is interested in that service, but it will also help me do the transition, because there's only a limited amount of time, but there's 5 spots available. There is a link in the description where it says one-on-one consultation. It will take you to my Calendly page, and if you want, I'm doing $100 for an hour consultation with me over what you desire. It also has a section there where you can put like what it is that you're looking to get help with, so that I can prepare for the meeting and have all the bells and whistles to best cater to you, anyone who is looking to get help, because I know that a lot of you have a lot of questions when it comes to this platform, whether it's something as simple as like, I want to get my lighting right, and what should I do with that? Should I buy something new, or can I use what I have? Or something completely to do with thumbnails, or the algorithm, and a lot of things where I am well versed on this platform now and various other platforms, not only from this endeavor, but from my Mr. Fix-It endeavor, because that's what really led me into the, you know, rekindling of my passion for photography and video, was the fact that I wanted to produce the best quality video and photos for my own business. And once I did that, you know, the rest is history, because once the passion was rekindled, there was no stopping it. I fell down the rabbit hole of like consuming all the technology and information that I had missed in prior 18 years of being removed from the creative space. And now that I'm back, is like I couldn't be happier. And that's where, you know, everything is coming into play. As far as video editing production, I'm also available for that, but that also has to do with like a simple, like, you know, like a Zoom call, you know, like a maybe 15-minute consultation to see what it is that you want to get out of, you know, said editing, so on and so forth. But I'm also providing this little added feature to see how soon I can make this transition, because if we're able to meet like in the middle where I can provide this service and I can, like, I have a limited spots available right now. I have 5 spots available, so you can go into the link and then, you know, set the consultation. I have it set at $100. I was advised to be a little bit more, but I also made the conscious decision to try to be as available as possible. I've set these 5 hours aside to be removed from my day-to-day business, and if, you know, once this is successful, then we can see about moving forward with more consultations to help out more content creators on the platform, or whichever platform that you desire, because like I said, I'm pretty well versed on all of them. And yeah, even TikTok. So with that being said, I'm gonna go back to the comments, but that's exactly the progression, and I'm bringing it up to you guys right now, because right now, like, those 5 spots are available for like this month, right? If you're looking to actually do this, right, if you're looking to kick off your channel and get things going off right, and you're like, you know what, I think a consultation with MrCameraJunkie is exactly, whether it's the motivation of mental mindset of how to motivate yourself, you know, to actually do these things, because, you know, as a solopreneur, whether it was Mr. Fix-It doing phone repairs or MrCameraJunkie right now, like, there's this barrier where you have to like make yourself work. You have to have that self-motivation, because if you don't, then you could be a fish in the water, because once you start doing things for yourself, nobody's really telling you that you have to work. Right? So it's tough when you're doing, you know, like your own thing, and you have to remind yourself that you are doing your own thing for your own benefit and get your out of bed, right? Because, you know, nobody's stopping you from just rolling over the covers and taking those extra 5 minutes. But the thing is, when you do those types of things, then you're only putting in jeopardy your future self. But like I said, that those are all things that are available with this, and yeah, I think that's like, this is kind of like a before the full thing comes out for MCJ Productions in the new year, so you can get in right now kind of on the base floor and be like an initial like, I guess, the beta group, right? So I have 5 spots available for the beta group consultations. If anyone's interested, you know, I would be happy to get on a call with you. So let me go back to the chat here. Let's see where we're at. It says, beautiful, bro, very moving. I think he was talking about my son. A carrier is like wearing them on a backpack. You can wear it on the side like a messenger bag, and then have them for hiking, and is really the best support for his head if he falls asleep. That's great. I'm gonna look into that, definitely. And I really do appreciate the help, because I'm like by myself, and yeah, this guy's about like just a couple minutes, you know, from falling asleep. He's breathing heavy right now. Says, watching your relationship with Aiden is so powerful. It gives me life. Thank you, sir. He gives me life. Like, you know, a secret that most people don't know, like, I kiss my son constantly. Like, I give him over 100 kisses a day, just to make him smile, just to get like there, and his smile is my life. So thank you, sir. Kevin, dude. Hassan is in the house saying hey. Kippy's in the house saying hey, Lewis and everyone. Kevin is welcoming these two. Okay, we're gonna not worry about that. Lewis, your consultation link isn't working, at least the one for me. Error messages. It says do not have permission to access perform. Okay, then let me check that out right now. You know what, I'm just gonna drop it in the chat right now. Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna get started with that and then go check back on the links afterwards, because disclaimer, I didn't even get my second camera on. So, like, definitely this has been run and gun streaming today. Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna open an incognito window. Boom. I'm gonna just test out that link first. Okay, so that one's working. And let me throw that in the chat. Boom. Okay, so we got the link. Jim is saying, brilliant idea, Lewis. Consultations will be huge. I think so, and I'm hoping, because if that's something that can take off, that could allow me to get into the full-time creation a lot sooner by transitioning and being able to supplement what I would consider, the funds that I would be making from my Mr. Fix-It, to allow that to be dissolved like a lot easier. Okay, John's saying that he's probably going to check out a different browser. The reason why this came up is because the people that I have been in contact with and that I've been getting to start doing the editing for, I started to realize that, all of the aspects that I provide, the helping with the consultations, whether it's video, audio, like thumbnails, titles, there's so many things, concepts, ideas. It's almost like marketing, right? It's like a marketing field, and that's something that I can't turn off, right? It is absolutely something that's like inherent in me. So just having a conversation with somebody, I'm able to see all of these like kind of pain points and being able to bring, help to alleviate in those aspects. And this was happening naturally in just the conversation that I'm having with potential clients for video editing. And that's where I was like, you know what, I could be missing the boat, because I'd been spending an hour on a 15-minute consultation, for like the video editing, just with the types of questions that I'm asking, and I bring to light so many different things that a lot of people don't put into play because they're just not aware of them. And that's where, I was speaking to Doc Rock just today, and he was saying, like, yeah, you're a video editor, you're not someone who uses Final Cut Pro. Like, you're not a Final Cut Pro user, right? Like, you can find those on Fiverr everywhere. He's like, you are above the fold, and that really does mean a lot. So thank you, Doc. But that's, I think, hella loud, so let me bring that down as well. But yeah, that's exactly what I realized, that I can't turn off. So I'm just having a conversation with somebody and I'm just asking certain questions that they've just never even thought of, just because of my background in television production and filmmaking, that being what I actually went to school for. Now, it's a completely different implementation here on YouTube, but it was also a learning curve that I also took on. So whether it's something that, you're saying, I want to do a production shoot and I'm looking for consultation for what I should be looking for a live stream production, or maybe a commercial shoot, that's actually going to be aired on television. Those are all different types of parameters that are required, that are completely different than the YouTube platform, but that I also have experience in. Like most people are, we have conversations about, like, should I make YouTube shorts and how long should my videos be, and so many different aspects of this content creation on this platform. But when it comes to commercial work, it's a whole different monster. Like, when you're told you have 30 seconds, you have 30 seconds, okay? And what that means, it means you don't need to make a video that's 28 seconds, and you don't need to make a video that's 33 seconds. You need to make a video that's 30 seconds, because it has to be 30 seconds on the point, so that the next commercial in the loop is going to fill in the gap, because there can't be dead air, especially on, secular television. So knowing that, if you're given a time slot, whether it's 15, 30 seconds or a minute, your video has to meet those parameters, tell the story, have the full advertisement, and be not a second short or a second over, because it has to be on point. And that's like, that's just one of the many aspects of, like I said, that I can provide with my consultation. So that's where this all spawned from, trying to be full-time here, so that I can also create more, right? On top of helping more people on the platform, or on any platform, I will also be able to stay within the creative space, and that will then allow me to create more content, because, the hours that I spent on the road today, physically being on the road, running errands, doing what I have to do in my everyday, is physical time that I'm away from this area here, my command center, so to speak, where allows me to create, connect, and really enjoy what I do. And like, the rekindling of my passion, guys, man, I can't even tell you, like, just video editing, doing all of this is like, every time that I'm like editing a video, I'm not gonna lie, kind of like it runs through my head. I'm like, why did you ever stop? why? And I know life gets in the way, and I didn't have the opportunities available to me. I don't know if you guys heard that car running by. That was literally just like right down this my street here. But that, yeah, like every time that I'm editing a video and producing content and doing something like that, it's just like, I just sit here and I look and I'm like, not only am I fortunate to have the ability to do it, right, because I'm also aware of that, but I sit here and I'm like, man, why did I ever leave? Why did I ever stop? And no matter what, it was all a learning curve, right? Maybe I just needed to learn more about life itself, but I'm here and I'm so happy. And that's what matters. It's the same thing. I can't get the point where I click the PayPal icon, but the same error when I click it. Gil is saying consultations are great. Yes, I believe you do consultations as well. So maybe I'll have a conversation with you over coffee to see exactly, like what I can pick from your brain, as far as experience, because this is, the ground floor. This is exactly like just starting out, but I'm really excited. I have a really amazing opportunity, and I'll be damned if I don't make the most of it. That's what's been glaring and obvious to me once I found this platform, like when I rekindled my passion, so to speak, and then realized what YouTube was. that was part of it, right? Like knowing what YouTube was, that I was like, oh man, like I can create anything whenever I want and post it whenever I want. Like that is amazing, because bringing it back now full circle, right? Talking about comedy. Let me hydrate real quick. Bringing it back full circle, talking about comedy. I did stand up. I did a bucket list thing. I did a open mic night at the Hard Rock Improv in Hollywood, Florida over here. So where you guys know that this the Guitar Hotel, right? The Guitar Hotel, Hard Rock Hotel here in Hollywood, Florida. There was a section there which was called like the Hard Rock Live. I think that part's still there. And then there was a plethora of like nightclubs, outside dining, like just an ambient nightlife within the Hard Rock, like casino, hotel, just outskirts. And one of the big establishments there was the Improv there at the Hard Rock. And it was one of the biggest stages that the Improv had in South Florida, being physically. Like it was one of the physically the biggest stages that they had. And the other improvs in West Palm Beach and Coconut Grove, Miami. But because native to Hollywood, it was right down the street. This was where I decided to go, and it was a friend of mine from work who actually did it himself. So shout out to Chris Perez if you're watching. He was the one who kind of like put that fire under my butt, so to speak. We were talking about comedy at work, and he was telling me that he did the improv and that he would want me to just, show up and watch his set. And I was like, absolutely. So, he did his set. He's great. He's hilarious. But once he finished his set, we were just hanging out, having a drink, and he just looked at me. He was like, yo, so when are you going to go up there? And I'm like, nah, because we always do that to ourselves. We don't believe, right? So I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't have anything set, and I'm already putting limitations on myself, right? Like, I don't have anything ready. I don't have anything like that. And he quickly, popped that bubble. And he was like, dude, you're hilarious. We're joking around at work all day. He's like, I know you can write your stuff, especially because it's all original. So all you have to do, he's like, while you're at work, when you think of a joke, write it down. He's like, just write it down. Write it down so that you can remember it. Tear off the little piece of paper, put it in your pocket. And he goes, and when you get home, you just throw it in the jar. He goes, then when you go to create, right, your set, you just go and you pick from all of your jokes to create your story. And that's what I used to do. That was like my method for my stand-up, because I ended up doing it more than once. But when I went to do stand-up for the first time, and this is like legit, right? For the first time, I've never been on a stand-up stage. I wanted to be a little bit more than just someone who was there for their first time. And it was just because I was such a huge fan of comedy itself, right? I'm such a huge fan of stand-up and the performing arts, and showing it the respect that I think it deserves, right? For myself, and this is literally just for myself, these are like my personal goals, that if I went on stage, I wanted to go on stage, first of all, with my own comedy, right? My own material. So it was stuff that I created, that I made up, nobody else's jokes but my own. Second, I didn't want to go up there with a piece of paper, right? I wanted to have my jokes memorized, my set memorized. And third, I didn't want to lose the crowd. It's important, right? Like, because I've seen it going to my friends and understanding comedy more than just like the average viewer, right? Someone who's like an actual fan of the art. And what I realize is that a lot of people, right, when they go on stage for the first time, they're used to telling jokes in front of people and seeing people's reactions and seeing their faces. What happens is that when the bright lights of the stage hit you, they're going to hit the backdrop, and then they're going to spill off a little bit to the audience, right? Even though they've dimmed the lights in the audience, the first 2 or 3 rows will still get lit. And because they're lit, you're able to see reactions and you're able to see people's faces. That's why a lot of the people in the front rows usually get picked on, because they can't see in the back. But what I wanted to do, like I said, I did not want to lose the audience, because what a lot of new comedians tend to do is just speak to the first 3 rows. The first 3 rows of people that they can see within the lights. And when you're on stage and you're looking down to just the first 3 people who are there, you lose the room real quick. And the people in the background that feel like that they're being neglected or not being talked to will quickly jump on their phones, get on Twitter, start commenting about your set on a social media platform, which could be good or bad, right? But whether that was good or bad, it wasn't something that I wanted to do. So my goals were to go up there with my own jokes, memorized, no papers or anything, and to not lose the audience. And my first time on stage, I was successful to complete all 3 things. And that was probably one of the biggest adrenaline dumps ever in my life. It was just so awesome to have people, after this is the first time you've ever done it on the stage, and have people come and come up to you after the show and shake your hand and say, you did a great job, you did a great set. And not only that, but to have the people from the improv at the time, and shout out to Will Watkins, he's in New York right now doing his thing, pursuing his goal. Still follow that man on Instagram. He was like the head there of the improv at the time, so he was the one that I would always speak to get on stage, so on and so forth. And he was even saying, like, you know, like, hey, you did great, like, you know, you can come back anytime. But this entire story is to explain that there was still some requirements to get on stage, being I needed to ask 10 of my friends to show up and put me as like the person that they were going to view. And if I got 9 of my friends to show up, they wouldn't let me on stage, because that's what's house rules, right? And that was really tough to go to like 9 of your friends and be like, sorry, they, you know, I know you got all dressed up and you have to pay for drinks for even coming in here. I appreciate it, but they're not going to let me perform. So you don't get to see me. And if you want to hear my jokes, I could tell them to you here on the table, which is like horrible. Like, we could have done that at the house, right? So like, that's the toughness of that that platform, right? If you want entry to that type of art, there are still requirements. And that's when I quickly realized the possibility of YouTube, because there is no barrier to entry, right? Okay, I'm still hearing something as far as messages, being distracted. But anyways, see, yeah, getting distracted, losing my train of thought. Let go. So what was I saying? I was saying about the Will Watkins. Well, yeah, when it comes to comedy, right? Like, I had to do all of those things. That's where I was at. And, you know, having the ability to create your own content. So let's say, for instance, you want to be a stand-up comedian, right? Let's say that that's something that you want to do. YouTube is an amazing stage. YouTube is an amazing stage to get things started, because there's no barrier to entry. And that's exactly what I was saying, that there's literally like no barrier to entry. Most people that are watching this right now, you already have the device in your hand that will allow you to get onto this platform, which is what's so amazing. And the thing is that for me to get on stage, for me to get 5 minutes on my set, right, I had to show up on a Wednesday, because I wasn't going to get prime time Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. No, that's never going to happen, right? So you're there on a Wednesday, you're asking your friends to show up on a day that they normally wouldn't go out. Sometimes you don't get to go on stage, like so many barriers, right? And yet I still did it. because it was something that I wanted. So if this is something that you want to do, then I'd tell you, like, go after it, because there is no barrier to entry. You can start right now, and you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And yes, I said it right. So that's awesome. But that's exactly where it all comes from. And once, like, I realized that, you know, like, once it, like, totally, like, opened up, I was like, you know, YouTube, I can do whatever I want. Like I said, if I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, I could just start writing down my jokes, start making them a set, and upload them on a Friday night, prime time. And guess what? If I want to make it more than 5 minutes, I can. That's what I was saying. It's like, you have the ability to do whatever you want with this platform now. Success on the platform does have to do with how you cater to the platform, right? Now, so, like, let's say you were a stand-up comedian, you're bringing that entertainment to the platform. More power to you, just as long as you continue to strive for that same goal, right? And Brian G. Johnson always says, if you work hard enough and long enough, success will have you. So that's the understanding of the power of this platform and a lot of social media platforms, because it doesn't matter if you're getting the attention, right? Because we're in the game of attention. If you're getting the attention on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or Clubhouse or anything, right? Anything at all, then you have the ability to create, like, your own destiny, which is amazing, because there's people who have full-on fledged TikTok careers that 2 years ago did not know what TikTok was, right? It wasn't even a thing on their radar. So that's where you really, see the potential in this platform. And I'm always grateful to have all of you amazing people hanging out here with me, because you are my, like, my improv crew. You guys, like, you are the crew, right? The Camera Junkie crew. And I'm also glad that I didn't kind of stick with the comedy, because even though I love it, not to the way that I actually am completely enamored with, television production, filmmaking, video, recording, production in general. I even take it back, right? Like, let me show you how things that I realize now, and I go, that's so funny that I didn't see that initially, right? Okay, so there might be some videos out there, and that's all I'm gonna say, right, of me doing the stand-up at the Improv in Hollywood, right? By the way, that building is completely demolished now, because they created an entire extension to the hotel with, like, some oasis, and that's where that real estate was. So that stage doesn't even exist anymore. I believe now we only have the Miami and the Miami and the West Palm Beach Improv. Now, when I was doing the stand-up, right, I wanted to get a video of high quality of my performance of what I was saying on stage for my first time, so that I can upload it. And this was just me not really still understanding YouTube, but just, trying to upload it to have it as a saved memory, right? But I did not have the gear, and fortunate enough for me that when I went to go do my first stand-up improv, right? Improv night, stand-up open mic night. That's the word, open mic. There was a guy there by the name of, I can't believe I'm running a brain fart on his name. Blake. Yes. Blake Weber. He's actually a very successful comedian. He goes by Blake Vapes. He moved over to California from South Florida, and was, he's doing well off with his comedy and his characters over there. So more power to Blake. But Blake actually was recording the entire event, and not from, like, the little, like, cheesy, like, kind of webcams that you see from the improv itself, but he had a nice DSLR, which he was recording the entire night. And he basically said like, hey, you know what? Anyone who wants to get their video recorded, right, and wants me to send it to them, just, give me $20, write your email down, and I'll shoot you over the video when it's done editing. And I was like, that is great. I gave the guy $20 faster than anything else. I was like, dude, here's my email. Here's $20. I appreciate it. And I had high quality video of the first time that I ever did my stand-up. What I realize now is that always stuck with me, right? I was like, man, you know what? I could have still been doing comedy if I would have just started like recording and doing the same hustle that Blake was doing over here when he moved to California. Like, I could have just took on that business, so to speak, and not really realizing that like the thing that was drawing me to it was the fact that I knew cameras and that I was like, I know this stuff, so I could just start doing my own recordings. And I go, and not only would I have the recordings of my stand-up, but I would have of other people, and then maybe I can like, make a couple $100 every week, right? I was like, that would be great to support my hobby. And not really realizing that the aspect that I would have ended up loving more than anything would have been the content creation, the recording of the videos, and then the editing of them, and maybe started editing years ago, right? Because it was kind of just one of those things that it was like, I was so close yet so far, because my mind and my vision was on something else. Yeah, the camera was right there saying like, dude, I'm right here. So I look back at it now and I'm like, man, who knows, right? Who knows? I can tell you one thing, probably wouldn't be here right now, which is exactly where I want to be. So no complaints. All right, let's see where my mouse is. Okay, it says we have to have coffee either Monday or Tuesday, brother. Absolutely. Let's do it for this week, man. We'll set it up. Yeah, we'll set it up for this, like this coming Monday or Tuesday, meaning I would say either the 7th or the 8th. I believe those dates are correct. The more I watch this look, it should be a Halloween look. It sure isn't spooky. Like, okay, then you know what? Let me try something, because I can switch things up. Aiden is officially asleep, because that's dad, right? Okay, I did get a message. Okay, so look, I'm gonna say this live so that you guys know this right now. This introductory price of consultation, these, like, whoever decides to get the consultations, it's at $100 for the first 5 that go in, because once these are booked up, I need to raise the prices as per Doc Rock. He said that this should have been at $150. So I'm already being scolded by this, and this is just people who I admire and have my best intentions at heart. So he wants me to be in a better place for myself, for my son, and for my future. So he's trying to make sure that I get the most out of it. So just FYI, if you guys are watching this and it is available and you're partaking in the consultation, know that the first 5 it will be at the $100, and then the prices will be jumping to $150 for future consultations. So you heard it here first. I was setting everything up, and this is the whole thing. I'm literally having this conversation with Doc Rock and Miss Diana Gladney just like an hour before I went live today, because we're all trying to do the most that we can to fix the situation, and to get there, sacrifices need to be made. So we're getting them done, and I'm excited for the future, because come January, things are gonna really be popping. Okay, so before I started checking messages, I came onto my phone not to check messages, but to turn on the light setup again. All right. And this is the traditional one, so let's change it again. So we're going to do monster light off and main light to blue. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. It says you're straight up making it work for you. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, right? One of the things when it comes to being an entrepreneur, right, whether it's any aspects of entrepreneur, is like one of the phrases that I heard is like, entrepreneurs jump off the cliff and they build their wings on the way down. It's just, you know, a trial and error process, and it's just, you know, there's no time to waste, and it's just to get things going, get things started now. Another metaphor that we always hear is like, you know, when you reach the island, burn your ships, right? Burn the ships behind you so that you don't give yourself a way out, an escape, you know. But the thing is that, if I can give you guys a little bit of a secret, right? Like, I feel like this is the escape. I feel like this is the way, this is the direction. It's like I've said it in previous live streams when all the stars aligned, you know, and that's exactly how I feel like. I feel like I'm following my life's path, and I'm actually on the correct one now, right? I'm actually on my life's correct path. I feel that the first 35 to 40 years of my life, I was distracted, heavily distracted, and now I am focused and motivated and excited. And I thank every single one of you guys for being here. You guys mean the world to me. About to hit the hay. Super dope stream tonight. Thanks for the amazing stories and laughs. Good night, everyone. Good night, sir. Let me see how far back I was there. About 15 minutes, so he could be sleeping already. He's on his third dream, how we say it. Quinto sueño. Okay. I'm interested in the consultation. If you still have space, suspecting slots are full, causing an error. If not, let me know. We can figure things, sign up a method. Sir, just also message me, because if you're interested, just letting me know that, I'll make sure that I'll make a special, you know, spot for you. So I'm gonna send you the link directly. Message me on either Instagram or Twitter, whichever is easiest for you. Send me a DM through there, or any social media platform, because I'm on all of them. You can find me there, MrCameraJunkie. I'm the only camera junkie around, so like that name is pretty much set for me on all the platforms. Look me up and shoot me a direct message so I can send you the direct link. And if you shoot me a message now, I'll make sure to send you the link as soon as I'm done with the stream, so that we can get that taken care of. Does that mean that Doc is lurking? No, that was part of our like group conversation that we were having about this same idea. So once again, I want to thank Doc Rock and Diana for taking the time out of their schedules to, you know, even, you know, have that conversation with me. These are the things that I tell you that are invaluable to me, because at the end of the day, right, like, nobody has to do anything. So the fact that there's such an amazing movement, community, you know, like crew here, right, of the camera junkies, I'm always amazed, super humbled, and highly appreciative. Like, I'm so grateful. I like the mysterious Lewis. I didn't say that you had to change the look, just made me think of Scary Story Time. I like, are you afraid of the dark type look. Well, there's the whole thing. There's so many ways to play with it. That's why I also have fun doing this, right? Because there's so many things that you can do, right? Let's go through all of them. From all blue, right? Oh, but we still have the fireplace in the back. This one is, we already did all on. This is just standard, like all the lights are on. This is what I call evening. So this is basically my front setting lights and also my television lights. So this is kind of like spooky mode as well, but not as dark as Sleepy Time Aiden. Because you see, Sleepy Aiden literally is cutting out all the light except this one right here and just my two monitors, my two television monitors here. But if I do Aiden, right? What is this? That's Aiden? Okay, so Aiden is basically my live stream setup, but I turned off the light that would hit him directly where he sleeps. So I guess so that it doesn't affect him. We already did full power. This one I called Moonlight. Ooh. What was I thinking there? It says I like the evening look. Okay. We're going to go through all of them right now. So this one is called Moonlight. Then we already seen live stream. This one is called Teal and Orange. Okay, John. I have the phone in my hand. I just saw your message. I will shoot that over to you. Like I said, as soon as the message is done, I just saw it come in. Okay, so this one's Teal and Orange, which basically is just that the monster light is orange as well. Here, let me check. So this is with the fireplace light taken off, and that mag light or the monster light that's behind the television will then be like that, orange color. Let's see what's next, because I haven't played with these in a while. Okay, live stream. This is live test. Okay, so this is just a test. I inverted the colors, more blue, and then we got the purple in the background, or the magenta. I think I like more magenta. But I'm also liking the blue here and the magenta over there. I'm being 100% honest. So that might be my next setup. Then dark mode. Okay, so you see dark mode is cool. Dark mode, I have my two key lights here. But then also I have two of the same lights that are behind my monitors here that bounce light off of the gray wall. And then just come back up and, kind of fill in this area. The reason why this area needs to be filled in for me is because of this beard. Because this beard tends to get lost in the dark mode, right? Which one is it? On the Sleepy Aiden. So you lose the beard. So dark mode, you got that. You got Sleepy Aiden, which is like completely lights out. Then you have Christmas, which is red and green. And this is actually a setup from last year. So last year, wow, it's already been a year, right? So last year around this time was when I first did this light scheme for the actual Christmas week. And this was the setup for that. And for those of you who are also familiar with Alicia Way the Third, we live. I had the fortunate, I was fortunate enough to be interviewed on his show called Creators on the Come Up earlier in the year. And whenever I go and jump onto his live stream, I wanted to, trying to best represent Mr. Alicia Way. So this one is called Alicia Way, the green and blue, right? You got to bring it up. So it's like, here we go. We live. Shout out to you, Alicia. That's my primo right there, bro. And he just lives just up the state. So he actually was doing a job here in Miami and was in the vicinity for the weekend. And I was like, you know what? I got to go say what's up to this man. You're way too close for me to miss the opportunity, and I'm super glad that I did. And then dark blue. Dark blue is basically dark mode, right? So look, we go dark mode, but I put dark mode with one blue light, and that's dark mode blue, or dark blue, which also doesn't look bad. This looks good. I don't know if the fireplace, I think the fireplace with it is really helping it out comparative, because I think we're getting that teal and orange, or that blue and orange type of effect right behind the television with the glow of the fireplace and so on. Okay, here's a tip. Now that I have your attention, we're gonna make this set, right? So I'm gonna go back to my live stream color. This is my normal thing. I'm gonna go specifically to my lights, and I'm going to once again turn off my monster light so that we get the orange glow in the background. Then I'm going to once again take my main light and make it blue so that we have this aesthetic. Boom. And this is the look that I like for, oh, I changed it to green. Okay. There we go. So now that is, wait, where did that go? I changed it completely. That's what happened. Let's do it again. Once again, live stream lights. I'm going to turn off the monster light. And then the main light, we're going to make blue. That's the look. Okay, so now we're there. Okay, cool. All right, let's see if we can show you this. Let's go. Okay, right here on the top, we're going to hit this plus symbol. And at the bottom, let's get it. Focus. Right here, right in there, I have 3 options: add device, create a group, or create a scene. And this time we're going to create a scene. Boop. Once we did it, we're going to name this scene, and we're going to call this fireplace. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have fireplace, I'm going to hit OK. And now we have fireplace set up. Let's see. Too much brightness over here. There's really nothing on it except it just says fireplace. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add the devices, and we're going to select every single device. Man, this is really going out. Well, it's all white. Well, it's giving me a list of every light that's available here, all 12. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select every single one of them. And what this does is that whether the light is on or off, it's going to save that in the setting. And now that we have it saved, that's now an official, scene, and that's how easy it is. So now I can go from Alicia Way to live stream to fireplace. That's simple. Boom. Actually been really happy with the ability of changing the colors on the fly with these lights. They've been awesome. But let me go back to the chat and see where we're at. It says, I like the evening look. It's almost monochromatic, he says. He says, I got the same error. I'll hit you up on Twitter. Okay, awesome. I think I got the message. Yep. No, I did get the message. Dark blue looks good too. Yeah, it does. But we'll leave this one here for now. This is it. But yeah, I think that's it for this week, guys. I have Aiden sleeping. I think we've covered all of the aspects. Yeah, and I'm really excited for this upcoming year. Like, there's so many amazing things on the horizon. I had a great meeting with someone that I'm probably gonna be doing some video editing. Let me not count my chickens before they're hatched. One thing that I am gonna leave you guys with, right, which is I'm not gonna let anyone know what it is, but I will let you know that I started a new channel on YouTube. Now, it is like, once again, it has nothing to do with what I'm doing here. It is a completely different niche channel, but it's also something that I was like, I kind of have to do this, right? And it's amazing. Just so you know, it's a faceless channel. It's not anything. It's more like, just audio than actual video. But with that being said, it is a secret project, right, that I'm also using as like a case study. So I'm trying a faceless channel where it's 100% of me, right, me physically removed from the channel, comparative to like my Mr. Fix-It channel, which also is another funny story. Check this one out, guys. My Mr. Fix-It channel, I've mentioned here before, and I said this is a dead channel. I did everything wrong with the channel, and I admit to it, right? I put commercials on a platform that people skip commercials. Nobody's gonna skip an ad to watch an ad, right? So it was just horrible what I did with this channel, because YouTube is the only one that works completely different than the rest, you know? And I was very proficient in Instagram and TikTok and all these, promoting my business, right? And getting the message out. But whenever I put those same exact videos that did well on all the other platforms on YouTube, they absolutely bombed. But what I did do was I switched up, right? And what I was thinking was that to, like, you know, supplement the business, right? And because it's still me, right? It's still my business. It wasn't like I'm working for somebody else. This is something that I also put like some TLC, right? Some tender loving care. And I'm also very appreciative of all my clientele that's ever decided to choose me to help them with their phones, right? But like I mentioned before, I foresee the future, right? And me understanding this, I wanted to transition the channel to basically start teaching everyone what I know from my experiences in the cell phone repair business. So basically give it away for free and see if I could like resurrect the channel, or maybe even start a new one, right? To continue to dabble in something that is a big part of me as well. What I actually did was I created a video on how to re-enable your disabled iPhone. So what ends up happening is that a lot of my clientele, they break their screens, and when they break their phone screens, it goes black and they're not seeing anything. That doesn't mean that the phone is off. That means that the LCD is so damaged that it can't produce an image at all, and you just see a black, like, nothingness. At the same time, the damage could be so extensive that the digitizer, which is what corresponds to your fingers, right, to the touch itself, starts jumping and going crazy. And what that leads to is that once the digitizer is compromised that way, it usually disables your iPhone because it attempts too many incorrect passwords when you're unaware of it, because it's touching away while it has a black screen and you have no idea that it's actively jacking up your phone. So a lot of times when I finish the repair, the phone shows up disabled, and I let them know, I'm like, the phone is working now and stuff like that, but this is a completely different issue because of the damage that was there prior. Now we can fix it, but you're gonna have to like reset your phone. And whenever that comes up, I guarantee you it's a 15-minute to half an hour conversation of me trying to explain to them how to get their phone to a working condition. So I was like, you know what? No more of that. I'm going to make a video and I'm going to post it on that dead channel. And whenever somebody has that question and whenever that comes up, I'm just going to send them the link. And that's it. Watch the video. You can stop it. You can rewind it. You can do everything you want with it. Go ahead, right? So with that, I made the video. I used my skills that I've already acquired and now created a video for that old dead channel the way that I know how to create videos now. And I posted it out there, and this thing's taken off. It sounds crazy, but it's like this one video, and I mean like all my other videos are garbage, like hot dumpster fire garbage. Right? I'm being real. And they got like 12 views in 2 years and 3 years. It got like 6 views, right? And I'm like, because nobody's gonna skip a commercial to watch a commercial. I post this video like, hey, let's take some time off of my hands, right? Like off of my schedule, and make this video one time, and people can like watch it as much as possible. And YouTube just like, oh, new video, boom, post it out. So everything that people could say about dead channels and like, and that I said myself, I have to take it all back. I have to take it all back and literally say, like, there's no such thing as dead channels. Like every video has the potential to work in its best environment no matter what, right? I posted this video a month ago for like 2 or 3 clients. I've literally given out the link twice. I've shot that link out 2 times. Here, check out the video. Here, check out the video, right? As soon as I'm done with the repair. That video is sitting at like 4,400 views right now and climbing. It is just like going loco at basically 1,000 views a week. That's like, think about that, 1,000 views a week. So if hypothetically, you know, if it stays in this trajectory, you're talking about a 52,000 view video by the end of next year, which is like, hey, so that's all part of this, right? I'm trying to stay in this creative space as much as possible, even including that the knowledge that I have as far as phone repairs, I can still implement it on this platform on my other channel and bring that up. You know, the tide rises all ships together. So let's see that. I have a secret, you know, case study channel that I just started this week, and I'm making videos for that. I can't wait to get some information on it and let you guys know. I have this channel, and I'm revitalizing for next year as well my Mr. Fix-It, because I'm gonna literally take it off the road, right? I'm gonna take it off circulation and rebuild it, so to speak, for this new day and age on my favorite platform, being YouTube. So with that being said, guys, you are all amazing. This crew, I say it and I will continue to say it, the best part of my week. Every week, this is my hangout, Club Camera Junkie. I love spending this time here with you, and I'm so grateful that you take the time out to spend it here with me. You guys are all amazing. Let me check the stream. We're all saying good night, good night. Thanks for the amazing stream. What if you make all those old videos private or unlisted? I was thinking about just taking them off. That's what I was gonna do. Like, and it's only because this one's performing so well that I'm like literally like, yeah, I could start it all over again. And with my experience, I'm gonna implement that, and I'm gonna do it the same way I've always done it. Hey, this is my view on it, right? I could only give you my point of view, and that's what I'm gonna do. And we'll see, because you know, having a couple of different ways of being able to monetize my time while I'm on this space means the world, and that would be the biggest game changer when it starts talking about life changing possibilities on this platform, that being one of them. You know, you see a lot of people with multiple like silver play buttons, gold play buttons, and all this stuff. I'm like, that would be great, right? But it would be great that I build it on my own and doing it the way that I want to do it, cultivating the community first, and not really going for any particular type of, you know, vanity metric, right? So that's why I always tell you guys rock, you guys are the best, and you guys mean so much to me. So everyone's saying enjoy the rest of the weekend, and good night. See you next week. You have the Mr. Fix-It knowledge to create videos that help people, they will blow up. I'm thinking that too, man. I'm thinking that you know, will also help, especially right now with this heavy movement of right to repair. You know, make a couple of more videos about how I actually do my repairs my way, my experience, and how I would attack the repairs, estilo Mr. Fix-It, and see where that goes, you know? Because if that blows up, right, and starts making a bunch of money on YouTube, that would only be ideal so that I could continue doing my passion, which is the photography, and it will only keep me in this space. And I'll tell you the truth, priority number one is Camera Junkie crew. Right? Like this is my passion, right? And that's why when I came to this platform and I said I'm actually gonna go all in, I didn't go all in on the Mr. Fix-It. because even though I love phone repairs, I love this so much more. And it's like, it's not taking anything away from that. It's just, this is so much more. So when, you know, you hear everyone saying, if you're going to go and do it on the platform, do it with something that you're passionate about, that you're like in love with, so that when it gets tough, you don't quit. It is so true, because hell, it's been tough. Speaking, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, and yet, like I said, this is still the best part of my week, you know, my weekend hangout, and there's no place that I'd rather be. So with that, everyone, have a great week. Take care of yourselves, okay, because we're going to be doing it all over again next Saturday, as always. Faithful as always. Next week is week 54 of the Camera Junkie live stream. What we talk about, I don't know. We're going to figure it out during the week. We'll see what happens with some of these consultations and where we move forward from there. I really thank you, as always, for joining me, not only for the live stream, but for this journey here on my channel, Camera Junkie, MrCameraJunkie, and seeing how we build this together, right? Let's see how far we're going to take this, because it's going to go far, man. And I'm super excited. So once again, have a great night, guys, and I will see everyone next week.